Welcome to our channel, BizMind, the negative impact of hustle culture, why it isn't sustainable. Welcome to the evil side of hustle culture, why it isn't sustainable. We are constantly assaulted with ideas in today's culture that praise working non-stop and hustling at any cost. Is this, however, a sustainable way of life? In this video, we'll look at the negative consequences of hustle culture and why it's critical to emphasize relaxation and self-care. So sit back and prepare to learn more about this essential subject. First of all, overworking and exhaustion are glorified in hustle culture. Hustle culture has permeated modern society, frequently celebrating overworking and fatigue. Many individuals assume that working longer hours, forsaking personal time, and pushing themselves to their limits would lead to financial success and independence. Unfortunately, this technique is not long-term sustainable and can be harmful to one's physical and emotional health. While working hard and pursuing one's objectives is crucial, the temptation to always hustle can create a poisonous environment that fosters burnout and tiredness. This mindset can also result in an inability to prioritize personal relationships and self-care, as well as a lack of work-life balance. Moreover, hustle culture sometimes overlooks the importance of privilege and luck in success. Everyone does not have the same chances and resources accessible to them, and the assumption that hard effort alone is sufficient to attain success is incorrect. Therefore, it is critical to challenge hustle culture's messaging and encourage sustainable behaviors that prioritize both personal and professional success without jeopardizing one's health and well-being. Secondly, it frequently fosters a destructive workaholic mindset. The negative aspect of hustle culture is the fostering of a poisonous workaholic mindset. This mindset pushes people to prioritize work over everything else, including their physical and mental health, relationships, and personal interests. The relentless pressure to hustle and grind can result in a cycle of overworking and burnout, with no time for self-care or introspection. Additionally, a focus on production and output can foster a culture of perfectionism and comparison, in which individuals feel pressure to continuously outperform themselves and others. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, which can contribute to mental health disorders including anxiety and depression. It is critical to understand that success and productivity do not have to come at the expense of one's well-being. Overworking and burnout are glorified in hustle culture, which is not sustainable in the long run and can have detrimental implications for both people and society as a whole. Thirdly, it can lead to a lack of attention to vital elements of life, such as self-care, relationships, and hobbies. The hustle culture emphasizes working diligently and always hustling to attain success. Nevertheless, in order to achieve this success, people frequently overlook crucial elements of their life, such as self-care, relationships, and hobbies. This has a negative influence on both mental and physical health, resulting in burnout, anxiety, and despair. Additionally, the culture frequently encourages a poisonous workaholic mindset, which puts individuals under harmful and unsustainable pressure to work continually and prioritize their work over everything else. This not only leads to a disregard for other important elements of life, but it may also have an influence on an individual's professional productivity and creativity. Overworking and burnout are glorified in the hustle culture, and it is critical to emphasize self-care and well-being to achieve long-term success and pleasure. It's time to change our attention away from a hustle-centric attitude and toward a more balanced approach that prioritizes health and well-being as much as professional successes. The fourth thing, the continual pressure to work might cause anxiety and mental health problems. Constant pressure to hustle and work hard might be detrimental to one's mental health. Anxiety, tension, and even melancholy can result from the fear of falling behind or losing out on possibilities. Workaholism may also lead to a disregard of other important elements of life, such as self-care, relationships, and hobbies, all of which are critical for general well-being. Moreover, working long hours can cause physical tiredness and burnout, which can have long-term impacts on the body and mind. Overworking culture and creating a workaholic mindset may also lead to a toxic work environment, where workers are valued exclusively on their production, resulting in unhealthy competitiveness and employee exploitation. To avoid burnout and ensure long-term success and well-being, it is critical to acknowledge the significance of maintaining a healthy work-life balance and prioritizing self-care. The fifth thing, a focus on productivity might lead to a lack of work-life balance. There's typically an emphasis on productivity and working harder in hustle culture, which leads to a poor work-life balance. This can lead to a lack of time for self-care, relationships, and hobbies, all of which are essential components of a meaningful existence. Individuals may forfeit their own well-being and personal progress if they are continually urged to work more and do more. This can result in burnout, anxiety, and mental health problems. The destructive workaholic mindset that hustle culture promotes can also have a severe influence on relationships with family and friends. To avoid burnout and achieve long-term success, it is critical to emphasize self-care and maintain a healthy work-life balance. The sixth thing, the notion that success can only be achieved via hard labor ignores privilege and institutional limitations. Hustle culture frequently promotes the notion that success and achievement are only the result of hard work and effort, neglecting the role that privilege and structural impediments can play. This might generate an unreasonable expectation that anybody can achieve success via hard work alone, without taking into account the myriad socio-cultural circumstances that can influence one's prospects and achievements. It can also lead to a lack of empathy and compassion for people who encounter greater obstacles in their quest of achievement. Moreover, the emphasis on individual work might overshadow the necessity of community and collaborative action in effecting genuine change. Ultimately, the negative aspects of hustle culture show the need to prioritize a more balanced and sustainable approach to work and life, one that values relaxation, self-care, and the larger social environment in which we function. The seventh thing, it can foster an unhealthy culture of competitiveness and comparison. The hustle culture can foster unhealthy competitiveness and comparison. It motivates people to continually push themselves to their limits and beyond, which frequently leads to burnout and tiredness. This competitive drive to surpass others may create an unpleasant work atmosphere, if not a poisonous culture. This also fosters the notion that success can only be attained via hard labor, and that those who do not hustle are not working hard enough. Furthermore, frequent comparison with others can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, which can be detrimental to one's mental health. This culture also fails to take into consideration structural hurdles and privilege, which might limit one's access to resources and opportunities. It places the onus completely on the person to strive harder, neglecting systematic issues that may have an influence on their achievement. Recognize the negative consequences of hustling culture and aim for a more balanced approach to work and life. The eighth thing, burnout can reduce productivity and creativity. Hustle culture frequently results in a never-ending cycle of working, which can lead to burnout. Burnout is a condition characterized by emotional, bodily, and mental tiredness as a result of continuous stress and overworking. When people labor excessively, their physical health, emotional well-being, and cognitive capacities are likely to suffer. The destructive workaholic mindset that hustle culture frequently promotes can lead to people neglecting key elements of their life, such as self-care, relationships, and hobbies. Furthermore, the continual pressure to work might cause anxiety and mental health problems. While some people may see burnout as a sign of devotion and hard work, it can lead to diminished productivity and creativity in the long term. To prevent the negative impact of hustle culture, it is critical to recognize the need of work-life balance and emphasize self-care. The ninth thing, prioritizing rest and balance can actually lead to greater long-term success. In today's society, hustle culture has grown in popularity, with the concept that success can only be attained by non-stop hard effort and commitment. Unfortunately, this thinking might have a negative impact on our happiness and productivity. The celebration of overworking is one of the biggest difficulties with hustle culture, which may lead to burnout, anxiety, and mental health disorders. Furthermore, it can foster a poisonous workaholic mindset, leading to disregard of vital elements of life, such as self-care, relationships, and hobbies. Constant production pressure can lead to a poor work-life balance, resulting in diminished creativity and productivity in the long term. It is critical to acknowledge that success is not exclusively determined by how hard we work, and that privilege and institutional barriers play a vital part in our accomplishments. Prioritizing relaxation and balance is critical for our mental and physical health, and it can lead to greater long-term success. The 10th thing, recognize and oppose the cultural forces that lead to hustling culture. The hustle culture may be detrimental to our well-being and overall success. It encourages an unhealthy workaholic mindset and can lead to the neglect of other elements of life, including as relationships and self-care. The continual pressure to work can also contribute to anxiety, mental health difficulties, and a poor work-life balance. Furthermore, the notion that success can only be achieved via hard labor ignores privilege and institutional hurdles. Prioritizing relaxation and balance can actually lead to greater long-term success. Burnout may reduce productivity and creativity, so it's critical to set limits and care for ourselves. It is also critical to understand and address the cultural factors that lead to hustling culture. Let's change the narrative such that it emphasizes relaxation, balance, and total well-being. Finally, while hustle culture may appear attractive with its promises of success and productivity, it ultimately promotes overworking and exhaustion. It can result in a poisonous workaholic mindset, disregard of key elements of life, mental health difficulties, poor work-life balance, and unhealthy competitiveness and comparison. Moreover, it disregards privilege and structural impediments to achievement, and stress can lead to lower productivity and creativity. Prioritizing relaxation and balance is critical for long-term success, as is challenging cultural norms that encourage hustle culture. Individuals may achieve long-term success and well-being by understanding the drawbacks of hustle culture and embracing a more balanced approach to work and life. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Your subscription would help us continue creating and sharing videos that I hope you will love.